Hello, everyone. Uh, this is Minister Dominique Alexander. Um, I wanted to do this live and be able to talk to the community, to keep the community informed, engaged in this process and in this next chapter in regards to the fight for Karmelo Anthony. Yesterday was a very hard day for me um, because Karmelo Anthony wasn't a hashtag to me. Karmelo Anthony wasn't just just a situation that I was upset about. Karmelo Anthony was a young man that was almost like my nephew, a person I was ready to take a bullet for, um, a person that I got to know very well, a family, a mother, Kayla Hayes, a father, Anthony, that I became very close with. They are like family to me. I was the first organization to reach out to support and help this family. And we did everything we possibly could do as an advocacy organization, not a law firm. We don't have attorneys that literally work directly with our organization. We have attorneys that are general counsels, legal directors, and different things. But our organization is not a law firm. We can only support, advise families during this process. Like I've said before, I've been doing this for more than 12 years now, committed to social change in America, locally and abroad. I've tried to make sure that I stood up for families in so many different ways. Yes, I'm a person that have been through some things in life. Yes, I have a background. My background is what empowers me to be the leader that I am and relate with families when they find themselves in situations. I've served as the president of the Next Generation Action Network. But, what I've never been involved in is going back and forth with people via like social media. And some of my people and supporters being like, Dominique, stop explaining yourself, stop doing this, stop whatever. But I want to make sure that it's on the record and video so that everybody can share, know the facts, know what went on, and going from there. When I reached out to this family on Friday of the week of when this situation happened in April 2025, they literally did not have anything that they could possibly do. They didn't know what to do, how to do, whatever it may be. There were an attorney that I called in to go to Karmelo to say, sit back, hush, don't say nothing, be quiet, don't talk to nobody. In that situation, as an organizer and a person who is experienced, you would use a personal injury lawyer because when you are a bar card attorney, your conversations is privileged when you go and visit someone. So that allows the jail facility to automatically pull that person out so that that lawyer can speak with them to ensure that you can protect the case until a permanent attorney is placed on the case, right? And so that attorney was Kim T. Cole, who was our general counsel. Kim T. Cole is a civil attorney, not a criminal attorney. Another attorney was brought in by someone else named Billy Clark. However, those individuals were not to serve as the permanent attorney. This was the decision of yet the family. After a couple of days, there was a thing called a writ filed. A writ is something that is filed when you are trying to request a bond hearing. And what happened in this situation is that writ was filed and it was pulled to be going in front of Judge Angela Tucker. Angela Tucker was not the attorney assigned, judge assigned to the case. She was only presiding over the writ. And in that situation, she reduced Karmelo Anthony's bond to 250,000. Around that time, I reached out to one of my good friends at No Limit Bail Bonds here in Oak Cliff, where I'm born and raised, and asked him and said, "Hey, I need your help. I need you to bond him out." And he answered that call. And I'm forever grateful to Pastor Corey Tony, people who I was able to call and depend on when this first happened. We were able to get his bond down to 250. We came here, we went back. I told the family, we're not going to walk him outside with whatever they finna throw on him. Go get his suit, and we're going to hold off releasing him because all of these cameras is in front of there, and I'm not finna allow this baby to be walking out in no jumpsuit. That suit that you saw Karmelo Anthony in was his prom suit, trying to make sure that the way that they were continuing to plaster him and call him a thug and all these different types of things, that it wasn't displayed. But if I bring you back into the conversation, that weekend, the family had more than 20 to 48 hours to pick an attorney. That attorney had to be hired by Monday morning in order for that person to go on Tuesday and get a writ. This family didn't have a full process of being able to select an actual attorney. There were recommendations coming from everywhere about different attorneys. As an advocacy organization, I can only literally make sure that families meet with who they want to meet with. If they don't want to meet with that attorney, I can't force them to meet with that attorney, right? And when they meet with an attorney, I cannot be present because I do not have attorney-client privilege. So the notion that Dominique Alexander had something or whatever, blah, 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 I wasn't even present. That's not something that I can be present with while an attorney is speaking with a family. I can introduce, I can whatever it may be, but that's their choice. And in this situation, there were more than a couple of different Black attorneys that they met with, and there was a white attorney that they met with. Some of the Black attorneys, the family could not afford their fees, but that's the prerogative of that attorney and their fees. And we have to respect that and what they want to be able to have their thing returned. I hear a lot of attorneys saying, I would have done this for free, I would have did this. Well, I didn't get that call. My phone number and email is on every public profile I have. I have a mean hang-up game, so I don't care about someone knowing my social media or knowing my phone number or my email or whatever. They're public. You can go on my Facebook and get it. You can go on my X, you can get it. You can go on TikTok and you can go on Instagram. It's in the contact section. So for somebody to say, I was trying to do this, baby, show me a text message and a receipt where you reached out to Dominique Alexander. And if you didn't reach out to me, please keep my name out your mouth. The reality of that situation, and I'm only doing this because as a leader, it's important that we be transparent in the process. And I'm only trying to make sure that I correct the record. I'm not going back and forward with different people saying this, saying that. Listen, this is a case that I would have took a bullet for and whatever it may be. So after this family met with these different attorneys, they then made a decision that they critically had to. I can hear everybody saying, why did they have white attorneys and blah, blah, blah. There was no indicator that that type of case was going to be presented. I can talk to the family, but I cannot be bigger than the show. I'm advocacy. Advocacy and legal separate things. My job is to make sure that I reach out to the Frisco Police Department to make sure that they understand that they have a responsibility to protect this family. And this family is getting threats. This family is getting docked. This family is having people come outside their house. That's what y'all saw me do when I met with the assistant police chief of Frisco and the deputy of Frisco, demanding them that the next generation to ensure that family, because I cannot move this family overnight. Raising the resources for not only the legal process, but also being able to move this family. And I said to someone the other day, I said, what did you want me to be? You wanted me to be the security? You wanted me to be the realtor? You wanted me to be the PR? You wanted me to be this? You even want me to be the lawyer? And one of those things I cannot do because I do not have a bar card. I tried to do exactly what I could do to support. My organization, my staff stayed up countless hours responding and doing whatever they can. It's not about you just attacking Dominique Alexander. You're attacking the men and women that literally wake up every day to fight for people that they don't even know. To fight against a world that is only going after us because of the color of their skin. And so in this situation, an attorney was hired. Did I have my reservations? Did I have my thoughts? Yes, I did. But just because somebody's coming at me on social media saying this, I'm not going to exploit my conversations with this family and what I told them. I'm not going to do that. And if you know anything about the appellate process, you will know that everything that I know needs to be preserved into that appeal. I can give my reservations, I can give my objections. Me personally, did I see eye to eye with Mike Howard on everything? No, I did not. When the family responded as to people who were getting objections to that and people that they were trying to distance them from, I can literally admit to you now on this camera that I was one of those people they were trying to distance them from after making the objections of the attorney. And I can take responsibility for whatever I did or whatever it may be, but I'm still here, committed towards making sure that this family fights for this appeal. And just like I said the other day, I'm putting $10,000 on it. And what are you doing? So all of the people that want to say Karmelo Anthony's name now, know that I know Karmelo Anthony. He could be my son. I know that sweet, precious little boy. Me seeing him in a jumpsuit and a bald head, I don't want to rush to get up in front of this camera and talk to nobody. That's a baby that I was willing to die for. I did everything I possibly could do. And people want to attack me when I was there. Where were you? Why couldn't you do it? Why couldn't you answer the call? Why couldn't you go over there and stand outside their house and protect them? Why could you put your life on the line for them? We're still getting death threats. They are still calling this phone today. He's in jail and they are still not happy. And you can take your time. This is the time where we must be uniting in coming together and finding out strategies, because Dominique Alexander ain't the only one that knows the strategy. Dominique Alexander and the Next Generation Action Network can only do what we can do, what we have capacity of. And one thing we don't is have capacity of legal services. We have to have outside partners and people and connected. And many of these people and lawyers know me and know damn well that I know this process. As an organization, we don't create donation funds because we don't want to be involved in it. We do not sit in when attorneys are talking to their particular clients because we don't want to be subpoenaed. But what you're not finna play up on my and literally respond and comment to me to act like it was a whole bunch of black attorneys, long as Lou 12, calling me and literally sitting here acting like they wanted to be this boy's attorney. That's what you're not gonna do. That's what you're not. I promise you, I will come for anybody that literally sit there and lie and literally say that they were reaching out to either me or this organization saying, and they were a black attorney. Anybody can say something a year later. Go back on their social media posts and see, did they post something about Karmelo Anthony in April of 2025? So I'm supposed to respond to clout chasing ass attorneys a year later, talking about, man, I would have done this, I would have did this strategy, I would have done, you wouldn't have done the damn thing. What? I gotta hear that? I gotta entertain that? People shooting shots that they don't know nothing about? Stupidity. This is what's wrong with black people, because everything that we can't even come together. We always gotta shoot shots. And when it ain't us in front of that camera, we always gotta be jealous. We always gotta look at this person and critique this person like we got all the answers. And I stand. I don't have all the answers. I don't. I've never stood in front of anybody and said, I got all of the answers. No, I don't. And so what went on in that courtroom, I am just as shocked as everybody else what went on in that courtroom. I was a spectator just like anybody else in that courthouse. And so right now, y'all, I people sitting here saying Dominique fired black attorneys to hire the white ones, and Dominique Alexander doesn't have the capacity, the power, nor is it his decision to hire or fire. That is not my decision. That Karmelo Anthony is not my son. But as I move forward and as we continue to call on people to support this family, we are right now trying to find a crowdfunding source to be able to raise money, because many people of you know that Give, Send, Go took the platform down, and now we're trying to look for a crowdfunding so that the family can set up that fund. Because like I said, our organization's policy is that we do not have or set up family crowdfunding, GoFundMe sources. We just don't do that because that becomes very messy. And so as we're waiting on that, and then the family is doing their process of selecting an appellate attorney. And let me make very clear on social media that most of all of the appellate attorneys, that even the Black attorneys are sending me, they're all white. So I know what social media wants of me. But since 2014, as an organization, when we first started, we used to have to focus on correcting media sources, Fox 4, NBC5, WFAA, CBS, all these different people. Now we gotta focus on now, because the day and age of social media, we have to focus on bloggers and people that we don't even know exist, because they'll get in front of a camera like this and they'll speak so passionately, and they'll run and they'll just say whatever they wanted to say. And then we having to respond to stupidity. It's a blogger out there saying, I fired Kim Cole. This woman don't even know Kim Cole is the organization's general counsel. She's not a civil attorney. But you want me to respond to that stupidness? Man, this is crazy. And right now, it's like people are literally taking up time talking about minutia, stupidity. And I ain't got no time to be focused on that stupidness. There is a family, y'all. I'm literally trying to be able to be there mentally for this family that so many people not understanding. They just saw their baby with a jumpsuit and a bald head. They're trying to comprehend what's going on, but at the same time, dealing with grief. I personally can't even sleep at night. I can only imagine what Andrew and Kayla is dealing with. And I can't be selfish to taking up their time, and they're dealing with so many different emotions. And the fact that yesterday everybody couldn't do nothing but reach out to me and say, did you see this? Sending me the mug. Why in the hell would you think I would want to see that? Why? And I'm only being candid with you guys because I just got to keep it real with y'all. Why in the hell would you think I would want to see that? I went against security advice. I went against the advice of my staff and walked out with Karmelo Anthony when he was released from jail, making sure he gets safe, get home safe. This is not a hashtag for me. I know Karmelo. And I know Andrew. And Andrew is a man that will fight like hell for his family. From man to man goes out to my brother, to a person that I has gotten to know. And you would think when we be on the phone, you would think we've known each other for our entire life. And as a man, my heart goes out to him. Because when you have the world critiquing everything and every decision that you made is hard. But I can tell you that Andrew Anthony would have fought like hell for every and fought like hell every and each day. And when we created this fund, we thought that Andrew would one day be able to go back to his job. But he wasn't able to do that because Jeff Metcalf and his supporters, the father of Austin Metcalf, was literally going to this man's job in order to get him fired. So what our plan was for a man that was literally making a good living for his family to be able to take care of his family to one day go back to work was blown up because a person that everybody wanted to say, hey, you should have kept into this press conference, was showing up everywhere. He just didn't show up at the press conference. The only reason why you know about the press conference is because there was 17 cameras there. But he wasn't just showing up there. But even in that press conference that we held that people want to criticize, and I end with this last nugget. We held that press conference because there were media sources that then grew to national. You had TMZ, CNN, Fox News, all of these people saying the family went and bought a house, a car. When the picture that they got from Karmelo Anthony sitting on the Lexus literally said 2023. This happened in 2025, and they deliberately lied and said they bought a house. But at this time, because of the pressures that was going on, they literally, and I'm reading this thing, so that's why I paused, y'all. But because of the pressures that were going on, Judge Tucker didn't automatically believe it, but she was really taking in consideration. And if she found that to be true, she would have violated and held the bonds insufficient. So we had to hold the press conference so that the testimony we did in the bond hearing was factual, and that the dad did not get on the stand and commit perjury. Because at this time, when we got Karmelo out of jail, when we did the press conference, you heard Give Sing Go put a press release out saying that the family did not even have access to the fund. I said from the very beginning, I was not trying this case, or I was not going to run back and forward and be able to beat this case in the court of public opinion. You know what I mean? I wasn't finna do that. I wouldn't. I said that was going to be my last press conference with that family, and that was my last press conference with that family. And it was only because those lies, because we're in a red county with a Republican judge, something that maybe in Dallas County wouldn't even get a light of day, it got a light of day in Fox News because those right-wing sources that were getting those information is Judge Tucker's constituency. And no matter whether I believe or agree with the politics or whatever it may be, that was what we were dealt with. And in that situation, here comes Austin Metcalf's dad. And I had to immediately call attorneys and the courts to see if that was appropriate. And all of the answers I got was no. So what did I do? I notified DPD that he needed to be escorted out of the thing. I had more than 11 security people and personnel through here that could have taken him away. I didn't do that. I let the authorities handle it and step back and allow this process to go on. And so while many people thought that some kind of way I was being ugly to the dad, I did not invite the dad to my private facility in my private office. And so if you wanted him to come and pray at your office, then you invite him to your office. I didn't ask him to come here. And that's not me being insensitive. That was a media availability in a private office, not a public facility. So with that being said, we're moving forward as we get responses from the actual family on crowdfunding and where they're going with the appellate. And mind you, that is not a process that NGAN is over. NGAN is only playing a supportive role. We are only one organization. If your organization want to help, if you a blogger, if you an influencer, if you a celebrity, or you a regular day citizen, baby, listen, you ain't got to like Dominique Alexander or like Next Generation Action Network to fool with this family. Okay? Everybody that has contacted with this dad or mother, they ain't had to go through Dominique Alexander. If you want to fool with this and you don't want to fool with me, baby, you do not have to fool with me, baby. And I'm not going to lose any sleep by you not doing that. I really give 2-0. And so I just say to people, I'm born and raised in Oak Cliff, and I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, I'm a leader and all that type of stuff, but I want all the smoke. Don't play with me. Don't play with my name. Don't play with my name, baby. Don't do that, because I done fought hard as hell to make sure that I stand up for these families. Don't play with my name. Do play with somebody else. Play with your mama, your grandma. Don't play with me, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not finna go back and forth with you, waste my time, my energy, my this, that, and third. And I know there's a lot of people that's gonna spank my hand for saying this or whatever. But you can, I can tell you what you can do. You know what I mean? But I ain't finna play that game with you. I fight very hard in this office every day to respond, to give support to families every day of my life. I sacrifice a lot from my family to be this person. And you don't see everything in front of the cameras because they don't. But I want you to know one thing about me before you come after Dominique Alexander. Go to my hood, go where I'm from, because the impact of my work you can feel as soon as you walk through it. Please put some respect on my name. Please don't play with me in that magnitude. I am not going to respond to stupidity and bloggers that only want to clickbait and only want more followers. This is not a following to me. This is real. There's a baby that is in a jail cell. And so right now, lastly, we're waiting on the family to create the actual donation link and what they want to do on how people can donate to them. We're waiting on that. But I ask people to be patient in that process, because I have to be patient with them. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people calling. They got their family. They're trying to process a lot of stuff. And so valid news sources. You got JD Miles, CBS 11 that they did something with yesterday. That talked to him. The Shade Room, the Breakfast Club has talked to him. There are other people, but all of these people saying that they talked to him. And let me make this very clear. And this is the last thing. If you talk to this family, and this is one of the things that Andrew Anthony hates the most. If you talk to this family, You do not have to rush to social media to tell the world that you talk to this damn family. Please respect their privacy. Please help them, but you don't have to tell the world. Let it get somewhere. Let them through the process of going through the process and let them make a decision. But you don't have to do that. And so right now, they are considering appellate attorneys. Mike Howard is no longer the attorney. That is a decision of the family right now. Their angle from their appellate process right now, y'all, we have to get records and all of that. And the appeals lawyers have to do different things with that and review that. It's an entire process. I cannot go back and forward whether they can do this, they can file for insufficient counsel, all of it. That's not my lane, y'all. I can only allow the attorneys to do what they do and hope to God that they get to the right attorneys. I am not a lawyer. Let me in with that. I's not a lawyer. let me say it in other kind of way. I run a human and civil rights organization, the Next Generation Action Network, that does advocacy and bring to light social injustice, not only here in North Texas, but across this country. We have an education division. We have a legal advocacy fund. And we have a social welfare department. We have a mutual aid fund. We have all of these different support features for families. We are not a law firm. We got good ideas. We got good connections. I know a lot of people. I know how to get here, but it's ultimately each and every last one of my family's choices to hire whoever they hire. And so with that being said, like I said, I'm here. I'm going to continue to support and play my role for this Anthony family. And I hope like hell that you play your role and not worry about Dominique Alexander. I'm the least of your worries. I should not be your subliminal post. If you're going to post something about me, put a name on it and say it with your whole chest. Don't do that. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I ain't going to play them games because what I ain't finna do, I know I'm true to this work. And what I ain't finna do is go back and forth with you. God bless. I hope that you guys continue to support this family. I know that there is a community that is hurting. I know that there's family hurting. I cannot speak to the stupid lies. I did whatever I could. And this is my transparent moment to being able to talk and tell you everything that go on. Did I object to the attorneys? Did the family hire Mike Howard? Yes. Did the family hire Toby Shook? No. Mike Howard brought in Toby Shook. Was I in legal strategies? Were I a part of the trial prep? No. So how is it that social media wants me to answer for something that I was not privy to? I am not allowed to have access to that. And it's beyond stupidity that someone would even think that. I am a regular citizen. I am not protected by attorney-client privilege. I don't have access to that. So people asking me questions, it's the same questions I have. Why didn't they call this person to the stand? Why didn't they call this witness to the stand? I got the same questions. The same ones. I'm asking the same question. I want to know too. What else do you want me? I want to know too. You want to know? I want to know. Why didn't they do it? Why didn't they put one witness on the citizens? Why wasn't it more people in there? Why wasn't an expert called? I want to know too. If y'all want that answer, call Mike Howard. Call Toby Shook. Not me. Don't hit me. Don't hit the black person. Don't be, oh, he should have had black attorneys, and the only person you can some kind of way attack is the black man. Go talk to them white boys. Don't talk to me. What? I wasn't the attorney. Judge Roach he never saw me. I never had a conversation with these people. What in the hell are you asking me these questions for? What? Please help me understand. Why? Why are you asking me the questions? So, to God be the glory. To God be the glory. I just wanted to make sure that we continue So to God be the glory. We're going to continue to do whatever we need to do. You was trying to show me something with the question? Yeah. Different question? Yeah. So, in Devontae Peters, no. Mike Howard was suggested by multiple different things. When the family, so that people know, when the family asked me about Mike Howard in this link that people were sending of attorneys that practice in Collin County, Mike Howard was one of several different attorneys' links in website. They asked me, did I know this person? I said, no, I did not know Mike Howard. I knew of him. I know people who know him, right? Do you want to meet with him? Yes. Okay. Let me get some contacts and go from there. That's it. That's their decision. Thank you for asking me that question, Devontae. Thank you for asking me that, Devontae Peters. And so, just asking question. Why are you setting up a press conference in front of the court? I'm not setting up a press conference in front of the court. That's not me. I'm right here. I have not been back to Collin County. That's the problem with a lot of people is when somebody is doing something out there in Collin County, they think that is me, and that's not me. I'm not there. I'm at my office in Dallas, Texas. Are you able to speak about why Black jurors' perspectives were eliminated during the pooling process? I don't know. I've literally, that's one of the things that the appellate attorney is going to have to. No, I got it. I'll read. That's one of the things that that I have a question to. You know what I mean? Like, what was that process? All that type of stuff, or whatever. The Black jurors that were striked, all of that type of stuff. It's, you know, that's one of the hard things. Yeah, and that's one of those questions that I need answers to. And so Mello should have had testified. Mello testifying, man, that's his right. I don't know the decision making. If you knew anything about that process, you knew that there was an hour and a half break over top of lunch on the top of lunch where everybody was trying to find out what was going on. And I'm only going to take a few questions. They railroaded him. Do I agree that that process was unfair, that the whole court system, how their rulings, their pretrial motions, all that type of stuff? Yes. How they did it? Yes, I agree with you. You're just an activist who holds officials accountable and bring awareness to unjust cases. That's all I do. Christopher Greer spoke right on the head with what that's what I do. Wrap it up, Minister. Video long as the sermon. Come on, Big Auntie. Give me some, come on, Big Auntie. But other than that, y'all, I just wanted to ask the question so that whenever somebody, and I want to thank my media person, Director Jeremy, because we've been sitting in front of these hot ass lights. Excuse my French, but other than that, I just wanted to do a video where people can share this to people, where they can literally look at this and know exactly what's going on. Is every decision that I make perfect? No. Is there sometimes we make mistakes in the movement? Yes. Did I foresee that they would blow this trial up this bad? Even though I disagreed with certain things and wanted the family to either add an attorney or move on, I didn't think it would be this bad. I just felt like ideologies and approaches may be different based on what I was receiving, what their approach was going to be. But at the end of the day, I had to look at that just like anybody else and sit back and take our interpretation. But I want people to understand there was only 50 people that was allowed inside of this courtroom. And the way that you would have people on social media talking, you would think that they had this damn trial in a damn stadium. Because when I saw people going inside that courtroom, it was only 50. And guess what? It wasn't no cameras in there. So you took everybody's interpretation of what happened. So, man, I'm getting some of this stuff just like y'all are getting. I don't know, y'all. But to God be the glory. Like, you ain't got to like me. You ain't got to like the organization. You ain't got to agree with everything that I do. You ain't got to know me. But just know one thing I ain't going to ever do. I'll be pro-black to the day that I die, and I will never, ever, 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 ever forgive or apologize for it. I will always stand up for my people and make sure that I never back down to address it. And guess what? One thing about me, and if you look at my track record, I'm in for the long haul. I'm here from day one with families, and I'll be there until the day that they do not need me any longer. And after that, we locked in for life. And Andrew and Kayla, they are locked in for life. And guess what? If you come for this family, you coming for me. And I want all the smoke today. To God be the glory. And that's kind of diabolical to end with that. But you hear what I said. To God be the glory. And I ask that everybody continue to pray for this family and be supportive and do whatever you can. Jeremy, you can get by that laptop so you can end this. But other than that, I want to thank everybody for just giving me about 10 minutes of your time, even though Patrice Jones said it was long, but it had to be in order for me to get it all out. And so to God be the glory. Peace. See y'all later.